What is going on, guys? Yes, we got the dub. Okay, let me enjoy it. Welcome to episode number 3. Yes, I am Rio Santana. Later on will be JC Santana, my father. What a weekend. UFC 295 was a banger. They could not do another pay-per-view for the rest of the year. Yes, I know we got Colby and I know we got Leon coming up, but that is probably one of the best main card performances I've seen all year, definitely all year, and probably a couple years before that. I mean, what we have? We had 1, 2, 3. I think we had 5 finishes. The French guy, holy shit! That head kick on Matt. Sorry, Matt. I know I was rooting for you, but damn. Then the Jessica and Dern fight. I mean, I had Dern. Jessica pulled it off. Kudos to you, girl. And then the big boys. I said it. Whoever makes a mistake and whoever gets hurt is going out. I thought it was going to be Sergey. By the looks of it, the first 30 seconds, I thought it was going to be Sergey. And then Tom just put it on him. Congratulations, man. You are going to be a problem for anybody in that division. I would love to see a Tom versus John Jones fight before John Jones gets out of here. I think the Stipe and him fight is going to be his retirement fight. But damn. Talk about new school and obvious to me, old school, John Jones, that would be a hell of a fight. I think John does get it done. I mean, his experience is through the roof. But with that division, man, anybody that lands could be the lucky winner that night. And then Yuri and Alex, what a fight. I mean, Alex just had that lower leg kick going down the first freaking round, and Yuri couldn't just do shit with it. And then that check left hook. I said it was going to be a knockout third round, but Alex beat me to the punch. He got it in the second. Congratulations. And yes, my Steelers won. We look good. We look like a goddamn football team, run down people's throats. And the Florida Panthers put a 4 game winning streak. We did play that sensational 18-year-old. I don't know if you guys have seen that. He's like the youngest NHL player right now. 18 years old, and he is a stud. Had 2 goals on us, and one of them looked like something that was created in a video game. So if you guys haven't checked that out, definitely go check that out. But I think the Panthers play tomorrow, and then the Steelers have Cleveland in Cleveland this Sunday coming up, 1 o'clock game. That one's going to be a tough one. It's anybody's game. You got to suit up and boot up. So let's get into some of the stuff that we're going to be going over. Dad's going to be breaking down UFC 295, his thoughts, his results. I went 2 wins, 3 losses last week. Hopefully this UFC coming up, I could do a little bit better for you guys. Please don't take my bets and put money on it. I'm not there yet. I'm going to get there, but I'm not there yet. All right. Then he's also going to be going over how everything's going with Marc-Andre and Yohan getting ready for UFC 297 in Canada, January 20th, the week after my birthday. So hopefully we can get 2 dubs for my birthday, turning a big old 33 on him. He's going to be going over some of the questions and answers. I like one of the questions that you guys gave him. I'm not going to spoil it yet. I do have a different list, okay? And I will give you that list at the end of the show. And then I will tell you this. One of the topics that Dad's going to be going over is one that is much, much needed, okay? So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to enjoy this victory. I'll see you guys in about an hour. Peace out.
All right, this is JC Santana coming to you from the Institute of Human Performance and our podcast, the Santana Podcast. Very happy to bring it to you with my son, Rio Santana. So he's going to be tuning in very soon here to give you the recap and all his take on things. So we had a very interesting weekend. Number one of our trainers, Meghan Garrett, competed in her first figure competition. Hey! Congratulations to Meghan. I got to tell you, that kind of stuff does people a lot of good. She embarked on a journey that she has never embarked on before. Just participation alone is awesome. She placed second. Very good. Her first contest, she looked wonderful. You know, she went through the whole journey. And all of these journeys are filled with challenges and hardships and staying on a diet and going to work out and getting your cardio in when you don't want to. And when all your friends are eating pizza, you can't. You got to eat fucking asparagus, you know? So all of that teaches a young person, she's in her early 20s, you know, a young person discipline. It shows them what they can do, what they can't do. And of course, being a personal trainer, learning how to transform your body and coming to your clients from that perspective just adds a whole lot of professionalism, authenticity, and it adds a different perspective because look, I know what that's like. And I told her, I said, so if you're a female and you're a personal trainer and you're so inclined to do a fitness competition, I'm telling you right now, it's going to do good. If you're in your early 20s, who are you going to be targeting? Here's the thing. Personal training is not a young man's sport or a young woman's sport. We used to think it was because you needed abs and all that. No. Look, people who can afford personal training are mature people. They don't want a 25-year-old inspiring them or a 20-year-old that hasn't gone through shit inspiring them. They want somebody like me, a warrior that still looks young enough, that still stays hip enough, but you're up there in your years and you've been through some shit. You know what divorce is. You know what bankruptcy is. You know what death is. You know what cancer and illness is. You've seen it. You've smelled it. And you've survived it. Okay? That brings a certain amount of maturity that people who are wanting to be coached and willing to pay for that coaching, all right, want. So it's not a young man or a young woman's sport. However, if you have a young person that can go through these journeys, whether it's a fitness competition or one of these geo races where you got to go through a whole, bunch of stations and do that and survive and that kind of stuff, you know who you're going to be marketing? A huge segment of the population that we're going to be talking about, well, later on, and we're going to be talking about every single podcast because it is the most socially important topic that you can discuss. You know who's coming to you? Parents, so you can help them raise their 13, 14, 15-year-olds that are not eating right, that don't want to do what the parents say, that want to go to the wrong parties, that want to be influenced by the wrong people because that's sexy. The wrong people and the wrong activities are exciting. They're the taboo, and humanity kind of likes that taboo. So you're going to be getting parents. So I told Meghan, look, you're not going to be getting the 40-year-old dude that wants to be like, because you're not going to get him. I'm going to get him. Rio's going to get him. One of our, alpha guys are going to get him. But you are going to get the older person that wants a softer approach, but that is professional. And by you going through that journey, by you showing before and after pictures, by you showing that you've got that knowledge, they'll listen to you, especially if it comes to body transformation. Okay, and a guy who's not really interested in being like a G.I. Joe, but wants to drop 10 pounds, he'll listen to a female bodybuilding or fitness competitor because he'll see that female as having knowledge that he doesn't along the body transformation line. I told her, you're also going to be prime candidate for a mom to bring you her 12, 13, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old girl going through puberty or pre-puberty, going through that kind of stuff, maybe a little overweight, pimples and all that stuff, and for you to make that young lady feel worth something and give that young lady a role model that's not mom. Because you know how it is when you start going through puberty and you start looking at the opposite sex, parents become obsolete. They're everything when you're, 1 through 10. But when you start getting 11, 12, 13, 14, and all of a sudden the opposite sex starts looking kind of curious to you, parents become obsolete. And in your teen years, your parents don't know shit. And it is then that you need a third-party endorsement, all right, which all personal trainers are poised to do that. So I tell my personal trainers, we're in Boca Raton. Parents have money, okay? And parents have these little beta babies, whether it's male or female, that don't know shit, they've had everything handed to them, and they're spoiled. And they're looking for someone to show those boys and girls a different way. A way of respect, a way of discipline, a way of how to approach challenges, how to stay determined. So what did I say personal trainers do? Inspire and motivate. So Meghan is in a perfect position because of that journey that she took to inspire and motivate, and we're super happy for her, and we encourage all you personal trainers to take similar challenges so you can get through them. It's going to make you better, and you're going to be able to use that to help parents raise their children. All right? Boom. Now, what else? So Meghan's supposed to start at 5 o'clock. So everybody's got shit going on because we got, UFC, and everybody has guests over at the house. They're ready to bang. UFC, I think early prelims started at 6. Prelims started at 7. And then the main event started, the main card started at 10. So Megan said, I should be on between 5 and 6. We should be done. Well, fitness contests, they never run on friggin' time. Well, it's going to be 6:30 to 7. Well, it's going to be 7 to 7:30. It's going to be 7:30 to 8. And so everybody's like, holy shit, I'm not missing this, I live 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes from the location where the event was being held. And Rio's like 12 minutes, right? So we start watching UFC, all right, like early prelims, and I'm already dressed. I go, as soon as she calls, she goes, I'm going to call you half an hour before I'm on stage. All right? I'm going to let everybody know. So we had 13 tickets. IHP bought tickets for all the employees that wanted to go, that were going to be in town to support Meghan. So UFC starts. And at 7, she goes, I'm going to be on stage at, half an hour. I'm leaving now. Boom. Everybody gets there. One of our reps from Ecuador is there competing as well. Becky. Meghan and Becky took second. Congratulations to both. And so we started to see UFC. We went to Meghan's, did that for an hour, clapped and, hollered at her on stage, supported her, and then everybody went back to the house. So that's how UFC went. But man, UFC was a banger. And, I don't bet, but I had some good choices. So I'll tell you what I chose, and then we'll break down some of the fights. From the early get-go here, I'll look at this, which is a little bit better. Let me see here. Notables, quotables. That first one was a banging fight. Joshua Van and Borjas. Rio.
Yep.
That was Borjas, right?
No, Borjas was against Frivola.
No. Van won. Van won.
Yeah, Van won
I
body
think,
shots.
Yeah, I think I had Borjas, and Borjas was putting it to him, but Van pulled it out. Then we had Castaneda, and we had Jared Gordon. That's, I didn't care about the other ones, but we all chose Jared Gordon because we know him from here. Great guy. He bit the piss out of Patty Fatty. They stole that fight from him. But anyways, he went up against Madsen, and Madsen is no joke. And Gordon put it to him. So I had Gordon for sure. Let's see. I had Matez against Roberts. I had Matez. Boom. He got him. Lupi Godinez against Richie. I had Richie. I thought Richie was going to get Lupi, and Lupi did a great job. Great job at getting a decision there. Then I had Costa. I had Costa, and Steve Erceg got him. I didn't know too much about Steve Erceg. And, Steve doesn't look like even a fighter. Steve looks like, I don't even know, some cartoon character. And man, Steve is a bad boy. He's a bad boy. I should have gotten him, but I had Costa. And then, of course, I had one of my favorites, Benny Saint Denis, all right, from France. Special Forces guy. Man, let me tell you what. That dude is coming off of 4 wins, all stoppages. And we're going to talk about this. My sons and everybody. We were talking to John Anik and everything. We like Frivola. He's, American. We love the guy. I love Matt. And Rio thought Matt was going to get it. I go, That French dude, Special Forces, has a little something. When you're in here, when you're in another genre, Special Forces and combat athlete are not the same. When you're in the Special Forces, you are trained to be different. You're trained to be much more analytical and less visceral. When you're a combat athlete, you are more visceral for the most part. That's just the culture, than you are technical, tactical, and strategic. When you're in the armed forces, everything is about strategy. Everything is about tactics. They live and die by tactics. And you can feel it. It's this calm savagery, calm intensity. they're calm because they're very tactical. They know they have to follow step 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they're very, 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 very exact about the orders and the exact orders that they have to execute in order for the mission. They're all mission critical. They think differently, and they think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they think logically. They have escape plans. They have plan Bs. They're rehearsed. Fighters are not like that. Fighters spar. Look at a fighter shadow boxing. It's the same shit all the time. They tell you that they have strategy. Look, fighters for the most part don't debrief. They don't debrief. They don't sit down after a fight, bullshit, and say, this is what worked, this is what didn't work. If we had this technique, we would have won it, or we would have won it easier. So therefore, we need to train this technique. So the next camp is going to be based on training this technique. They say they do that, bullshit. I don't know one that does it. They may have a meeting at a restaurant or somewhere and talk. It's not strategic. I'm very, very familiar with how SEAL Team 6 and the Special Forces work. When they have debriefings, man, let me tell you, it is planned, it is exact, and it is thorough. A Special Forces mission debriefing is insanely, insanely exact, all right, and very comprehensive. You don't have that kind of discipline, you don't have that kind of execution in the combat sports. You just don't. So when I'm telling you right now, that guy is going to be a problem because he's taught to think differently. And he has the savagery, but it's very, very, very programmed and executed very, very, very precise. So I'm a big, big fan of Benny. Jessica Andrade against Mackenzie Dern. I thought Mackenzie was going to come in, but she fired her striking coach. So she came in aggressive, but she came too edgy. It wasn't smooth. You can come in aggressive, you can come in edgy, you can come in on angles, but they have to make sense. You just can't be like this against a killer like Jessica, because she's gonna hunt you down until you get a little tired, and that nervous energy that makes you unpredictable and makes you hard to get to calms down, and then she's gonna hone in and she's gonna assassinate you, and that's what happened. I had Dern a little bit more disciplined, boom. But I had Espinal. I think that dude is going to be a problem even for John Jones, because he is more athletic in terms of like, let's say, football. He is more athletic, bigger and more athletic than any other heavyweight. Athletic. Now, I'm not talking about only speed. I'm talking about athleticism. The only thing that Jones has, and somebody like Cyril Gane has, is they have a little bit more polished technique. And I think Espinal's a baby still. He doesn't have that many fights. When that dude gets polished with technique, with that kind of size and that kind of spring, that kind of ability to close the distance, I'm telling you right now, he's going to be a problem. He'll give John Jones a problem just with his athleticism. All right, he'll give Cyril Gane a friggin' big problem, all right, with his athleticism, especially if he can just bum rush him and take him down. So, Espinal, I called it, and it was going to be happening, and I called Pereira, and the same thing. Jerry is a good martial artist, but he's more of a martial artist than an MMA fighter. Okay, you can play around with your fucking sword all you want, and you can do your kata, and you can talk to fucking Buddha, and you can sit in the snow and all that shit. But when it comes to the fucking ring, all right, with a polished guy like Pereira has his shit. So what happened in this fight? Pereira was going to take this guy in an orthodox stance and tear his friggin' leg up. It took him 1 minute to land the first banging kick. Then he landed one at a minute, another one like at minute 10. Then he had another one at 140, and then he had another brutal one at like 220, 210, around there. That fight wasn't won in the second round. No, it was done in the second round. That fight was won in the first round by pummeling the friggin' leg. So what happens when you go orthodox and you get your left leg pummeled, and the way he gets it in there, he doesn't turn the front foot out. okay? Which that takes time. So you have to be backloaded, turn the front foot out, and then really throw a round kick that where you turn the hips. He doesn't do that. What he does, he's able to keep this foot kind of pointed forward, more or less, and he's moving forward and back, and take this one and just go bam without really even turning the hip. He kind of even jams that front hip because he doesn't. It's not an all-out kick for him. It's not an all-out kick. He wants a kick that's 60%. But 60% for Pineda is enough to break the fibula 10 times over. So he says, you know what? I'm going to sauce you up. You want to stand orthodox with me? I'm going to take that outside leg, and I can get to it quick because I don't have the setup. I'll just get the timing. As soon as I see you front loading, taking steps, I'm going to time that. Bam! And I'm going to hit you. When I hit you 2 or 3 times kind of in the same spot, I'm going to saute that leg. Then what's going to happen? You want to go southpaw. Oh, so you want to go southpaw on me? No problem. When on a right hand or orthodox, you go southpaw, guess what's there for them? Boom, the left hook. What's Pineda's best shot? The left hook. So I'll eat that front leg up until when you're orthodox, I'm going to eat that front leg up until you want to go southpaw. As soon as you want to go southpaw, I'll say, come on, bring that jab in, bring that lazy jab in. Boom, check left hook. What did he take him out with? He threw a right hand that grazed him. But look inside tight, what he got him? He got him with a left hook. He got him with a left hook. And when you see us do this here for the explosive elbows, what do we tell all our athletes? If somebody's got a lazy double on you and they're sitting there sleeping on you, bang the friggin' elbows. And you saw him just go, you saw Yuri just go limp with the elbows, and it was a good stoppage. Even he said it. Do you think it was an early stoppage? He goes, no, I was out. It was a good stoppage. Them elbows to the side of the head anywhere near there are devastating, and that's what he got him with. But that fight wasn't won in the second round. It ended in the second round. That fight was won in the first round, all right, with those leg kicks, making them go southpaw, making him want to hug because he didn't want to get kicked anymore. So that changes the tempo and psychology of the fight. All right, so back with the fight. Who comes in? Who comes into UFC? Crip walking that shit. Donald Trump. With Tucker Carlson, and Kid Rock. Come on, seriously? And then who he sit next to? His son, Gary Brecka was there. They had a bunch of like gangsters there. So the whole G unit showed up. And in New York, and I've got, I don't want to make this a political podcast, but New York is Democrats, folks, for those of you who don't know this shit. Okay, New York is as left as it goes. And for the far right to show up at a sporting event and get almost like a standing ovation, all right, that's got to tell you how this guy is seen in New York, one of the most left-leaning states. Mr. Right shows up with other right people, all right, Tucker Carlson, right, Kid Rock, right, and the dude gets an insane ovation. So that kind of tells you what's happening. This country's getting a little tired of pussies, is what it is, okay? And you should be, because if we keep doing this and handing out trophies to everybody, all right, we're not gonna end up good, and we're gonna end up with that kind of talk later on, okay? So that was I thought we were really interesting. All right, so some of you asked if I think, and I already addressed it, if I think that Aspinall will give Jones a run for his money. Needs a little bit more time, but yes. Aspinall's power and athleticism can give anybody trouble. It's just that John Jones has so much experience, man, that you just can't roll over that experience. Anybody can get caught. But damn, man. Aspinall, I think, is going to be a problem in another 2 or 3 years. He's just a baby, just started, took this fight. He was on vacation, for crying out loud. He didn't even train for this fight. Neither did Sergey either. And Sergey clipped him a little bit. Don't think Sergey's bullshit. No, Sergey's a freaking savage. Just Aspinall got him. It could have turned the other way. And I thought, and at the beginning, when Aspinall got clipped, I'm going, oh shit, this could be an early night. We all knew it wasn't going to go past the first round, because they were not in 5-round shape, none of them. So everybody made the agreement. All right, I'm going to throw bombs, you throw bombs, whoever lands, we go home early. How about that? Okay, great. Hey, All right, so Now we come to the combat segment that you know is brought to you by FHE, the premier mental health company in South Florida and the sponsor of IHP Combat. They are sponsoring all of our athletes, and all of our athletes go there for mental health, different therapies, for counseling and all that stuff. So tell you right now, if you or anybody, all right, that you know is being challenged with mental health issues or substance abuse, FHE is the place to go, and they are the ones to contact. So hit them up if you have any of those issues, all right? So thank you, FHE, and let's go. How's training going here? Well, number one, Marc-Andre. Marc-Andre is looking good. We're going up against Chris Curtis. He is looking awesome. But more than the exercises is how we're coaching the exercises, how we're integrating the exercises into the consciousness of the fighter. Folks, if you don't do that, you're not motivating your fighter. Remember, inspiration and motivation, all right? He's already inspired. He wants to fight. And we already painted the picture. You know what? And we know what they do. They do this, and they don't do this, all right? And you do everything they don't do. So we have strategic advantages in many, many, many different ways. I'm not going to, do or say anything that's going to throw off our shirt, but I'm telling you right now, we have some severe advantages that we're going to exploit. So we're very happy about Marc-Andre. Remember, he's going January 20th in Canada, UFC 297. And Yohan is also going to be there. And as I told you, Yohan is doing awesome. We were going to have a conversation to wrap up the first week. We're going into the second week. He's already got his program. And I am not only sending the program and getting him into our periodized and progressive training, but I'm starting to tune him up with our combat psychology, our combat philosophy, which is a life philosophy. So part of his homework, which is we're going to talk about, is this is how much you're training. Remember, fighters want to train 15 times a week, and they shouldn't. But they're holding on to that because if they don't do that, they're not going to win. Okay, that's a fear response. It's not a courage response, and we're going to talk about that. So his homework for this week was what is courage, and I sent them a link to Jordan Peterson's YouTube, where he says, you want to meditate, you want an answer, you want to fix your life. You sit on the edge of your bed and ask yourself one question. What is one thing that is screwing up my life that I can change, that I will change, all right, that'll make my life much better and it'll stop screwing up so much? What is that one thing? He goes, and you sit there and meditate on that. The answer will come, and it won't be one that you want, but it'll be the necessary one. And I sent them that. I said, look, it's not me saying it. It's somebody much smarter than I. Third-party endorsement is always good. So I asked him a couple of questions, and I asked him, ponder what is courage, okay? And then based on what his definition was, I said, now hear this again and look at your training and tell me if you can make your training better. Boom. So we're going to have a conversation tonight based on all of that. But what Yohan is doing right now and what we do with our fighters is we coach them. We mentor them. It's just not strength and conditioning. It's philosophy. It's being a better man, a better person, a better woman. And when you do that, everything improves. You make better decisions based on principles, based on truths, based on facts, not based on feelings. The worst decisions that you make are emotional decisions, and you guys know that. Everybody knows that. Yet we do that all the fucking time. And so one of the philosophical approaches that we take is to teach people what courage is, and then teach them deductive reasoning and teach them to have the courage to do that deductive reasoning, which is based on principles and facts. Boom. So that's very exciting. Of course, we have something very exciting, but we're not announcing it yet. We are this close to signing a contract with a very, very cool opponent for Gregory Rodriguez, RoboCop. Super. I wanted to tell you. I wanted to say just, hey, it's in the works. But Gregory said, no contract. And I go, don't say, we're not saying anything. So we have a surprise for you probably next week or the week after when that contract is signed. We're going to bang it. it might be old news by the time we do the podcast. He might announce it, but very exciting. It's coming. It's going to happen. It's been a long time coming, and it's going to happen. So we're super, super cool. Now, I'm going to train you like I train my fighters, like I train my staff. And I'm going to ask you, what is courage? What is courage? And what is the difference between being courageous and being fearless? That's something to ponder. All right? And in my opinion, okay, and there's different, you can go into a black hole on definition and research and science and philosophy, but we're going to operationally define that. That means I'm going to give it a definition so we can start the conversation. It's not the only definition, but it's a good definition that we're very happy with until we come up with a better one. And it's this: courage, the willingness to live by truth. Jordan Peterson, courage is the ability to tell the truth. And that is the ability to live and die by truths, by principles. What is a truth? A truth is a principle. What is a principle? A natural law. How do I know it's a natural law? A natural law to you may not be a natural law to me. Bullshit. A natural law is a natural law. You can't tell me that you think you're a snake or that you think you're a fucking lizard. You're not. You're a human being. You're a man or you're a woman. Done. Period. End of story. Done. You can't tell me, well, in my opinion and in my reality, gravity, pulls you up. Yeah? Jump from a third-story building and tell me what's up. Tell me how your opinion stacks up. So, natural laws and truths, facts. Okay, facts, not beliefs, facts. Okay, the willingness to live and die by natural principles. Okay, natural principles, regardless of any emotion or circumstance. Emotion is what you feel. Circumstances, well, if I'm here, I'm not. If I'm in this position, it's good. Like a lot of people, especially combat athletes or anybody. Well, you know what? This is best for me. Now. It's like telling me, I'm going to eat cyanide. Dude, cyanide kills people. Or you know what? I'm going to do fentanyl because I want to get a little high. And I don't drink. I don't smoke. I just want to do a little fentanyl. Bro, fentanyl fucking kills people. That's not the shit to be doing. But you know what? It's best for me. Bullshit. This best for me, or it's my opinion. Those are all excuses to think and act on dumb shit. Got it? It's for me. In my opinion, in my situation, okay? There's no way that in your situation, a natural principle won't be the best way to run. It might be uncomfortable, but it's always the best route to take. Best route to take. Natural principles. Now, well, for me, something illegal or something unconscionable or something immoral, for me, it's best. No, it's never best. It's never best. It might feel better, but it's never the best. Because it has consequences all the time, and the consequences are bad. Got it? So, in my opinion, everybody entitled to their opinion. Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, but you can't expect me to respect a stupid opinion that's not based on principles. You can tell me, in your opinion, the reason that I can breathe is because I'm a fish, and you can tell me that that's your opinion. Well, we have places for people like you. They're called insane asylums. That's where you belong, because you're fucking ape shit, all right? You're crazy. So no, you're entitled to your own opinion, and I'm entitled to put you in a loony bin hospital. How about that? Because your fucked up opinions will mess up this society. You can't say, well, in my opinion, screaming gun or bomb in a airport or in a plane, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. So, I want to lift everybody's spirits. I want to make everybody laugh. So I'm going to scream gun. Huh? What? Do that shit and tell me it's your opinion. That in your opinion, that's acceptable because it's going to make everybody laugh. What happens? They have a place for you. It's called jail. All right? So courage is the ability to live and die by the truth and principles regardless of any emotion or circumstance. Okay? If you know you're doing something, okay, true and right, but you don't, based on past beliefs or based on your opinion, then you're not being courageous. You're not being courageous. Just like if you're doing something stupid, Okay, stupid, without morals and principles, without truth, stupid, and you get harmed. You can be fearless, but you're an idiot. So to step in front of a car, okay, you may be fearless, daredevils. They may be fearless, but there's some things that pass the fearless and into stupidity. Okay, so there you have it. All right. You need courage to change what is needed to make you better. You need courage to change what is needed to make you better. And if what is needed is against what you're used to, which is a habit, which is tradition, okay, which oftentimes are limiting beliefs, you need courage to say, this is not right. And I'm not going to do it anymore. And I'm going to have the courage to say that I'm going to be better for this. Not doubt. I'm going to be better for this. Why? Because it's true. It's true. I shouldn't be training 15 times a week. It's true. That's a lot of shit volume that I could be using to recover. I'm not even training effective shit. I'm just training for the sake of training. And I'm training hard all the time. I'm not peaking. So if you know this, if somebody has proven this to you and you know this because you're looking at your shit, how can you sit there and continue to do it? Because you're running on fear. Fear that if you don't do it, the right shit ain't going to happen, although you know you shouldn't do it. So anyways, that is courage. Got it? The willingness to live and die by truths and principles, no matter what the emotional or circumstances or emotional content or circumstances may lend themselves to be. Got it? Done. We killed that one, all right? And this is important, folks, especially in today, where you have all of these demonstrations going on. And look, you can, what's going on in the Middle East, but what's going on with LGBTQ, what's going on with Black Lives Matter, what's going on with Me Too, all of this shit. What's going on is this. You have a bunch of people that have never worked for anything, that have never been part of anything, that are getting their information from TikTok. And by the way, folks, you know who owns TikTok, right? China owns TikTok. We know for a fact, and I know this for a fact because I got friends in China. Remember, I've gone to China 30 plus times, all right? And I still have reps in China. And so they can show me their TikTok and I see our TikTok, it's different. In China, TikTok is China's awesome, you're awesome, look at all the success stories, okay? Our TikTok is shit. Nothing but crap, all right? So China is throwing TikTok because we know that all of us are living on TikTok. Not me, I don't give a shit. I don't even know when I'm on TikTok or Instagram because Rio's the one that manages our social media and we know that that's necessary for business, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't, but it is what it is, so we got to play that game. Bottom line is, I hope they remove TikTok from the United States. I hope they do. Because China, all right, they can manipulate us. They can put the Democrats against the Republicans, Jewish against Palestinians, Palestinians against Jewish, Muslims against Christians, Christians against it. They can manipulate the message. And look at what's happening to our country. We're fighting with each other over shit. Over shit. Okay, who belongs in Israel? Who belongs in Palestine? Well, it depends on who you talk to and what facts they use. All right? Somebody will pull facts from the last 75 years, from the last 40 years. Then somebody will refute those facts based on the last 75 years. Then somebody will refute those facts based on the last 100 years. Somebody will refute those facts based on the last 1,000 years. Somebody will refute those facts based on the last 4,000 years. And then somebody will go to 7,000. Where the fuck are we going to stop? Where the fuck are we going to stop? I'll tell you where we stop. I'll tell you one place where we stop. There is no moral equivalency. There is no fucking reason or way in hell, okay, that you can substantiate me going into your country a la Genghis fucking Khan, all right, taking your women and children, decapitating them and burning them for no reason, okay? Taking innocent people who were not engaged in war, okay? Taking innocent people who have nothing to do with war, unannounced, raping, decapitating them, and burning them. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what country you're in. That's a fucking no-no. When you do that, you become a barbarian. That means you're not human anymore. And when you're not human anymore, guess what you lose? Human fucking rights. Okay? And you need to be annihilated because you're suffering from a fucking disease that only a decapitation or a bullet in the fucking head can cure. I don't give a shit what religion you're in. I don't care what country you're in. You cannot go into a place unprovoked, and kill innocent women, children, grandmas and shit and do that savagery. You can't do that. Okay? You're not happy about the situation you're in? Fantastic. Demonstrate. Demonstrate. Where were these fucking crowds, okay, when Nicholas Berg got decapitated many moons ago? Al-Qaeda. And then ISIS doing shit that was like beyond reproach. Where were the anti-Muslim demonstrations? There were none. But now we have anti-Jewish demonstrations. I get it. War is an ugly thing. There's innocent people dying, and I don't want them to die, and I condemn their deaths. Okay? I condemn it on both sides. And I wish there was a way to talk it out. But when you have animals, all of them, from Africa to India to the Muslim, to the Middle East, we got animals along all sides. And if you think those are animals, you should have seen what the native Indians did to each other before the white man got here. Fucking savages, animals. So it's not a Muslim thing, and it's not a Jewish thing, and it's not an African thing. It's a human thing. We have the ability to suck, okay? But we cannot allow that to happen. When that happens, when those bullies come out, there's only one way to fix that shit, and that's violence. Here, I'll give you a funny shit to finish this segment, okay? Richard Jeni in Heaping Steaming Pile of Meat comedy. Look him up. He passed away 6 months after doing that. He committed suicide. But anyways, funny as shit. He goes, gun and violence are not the solution, but they're a solution. They're a solution. He goes, imagine you got a bunch of friends that want to go to McDonald's and Burger King and Chipotle and Taco Bell, and I want to go here. No, I want to go there. I want to go here. And one pulls out a gun and goes, bam! We're going to fucking Taco Bell. He goes, that'll fix some shit. That'll fix some shit. It's not the solution, but it's a solution. But my point is, to the winner goes the spoils. Okay? What do you want to do? You want to give the U.S. back to the Indians? Okay, if you give it back to the Indians, what tribe are you going to give it to? What tribe? Okay, and that tribe should give it to the other tribe that they stole it from, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we had Africans come here for slavery. Okay, you want to give them back? You want to take all the Africans back to Africa? What do you want to do? How are you going to restore the past? The sins of our fathers. How are you going to do that? The evolution of history. What do you want to do? You can't do that. You got to deal with what's happening now. Okay? The white man came over here. Boom. The greatest country in the history of humanity. All right? The reason that the blacks, the Jewish, the Muslim, the gays, and everybody can bitch is because we have a country that allows them to bitch. Who built that shit? How was that shit built? You want to give all that back? Go ahead. Give it back and see what happens. All right? So, be very careful when you demonstrate. You don't even know what the fuck you're demonstrating. My daughter wanted to demonstrate when we had a shootout in one of the schools down here. Terrible thing. And she wanted to demonstrate. She's like, 14 years old. And she wants to demonstrate. The guy came in, killed, what was the name of that school, Rio? Marguerite?
Stoneman Douglas?
Stoneman Douglas, I think it is. Stoneman Douglas. Horrible thing. Horrible. My heart goes out to all the parents who lost babies there and all the people that were lost. Terrible. So she wants to demonstrate because her school is walking down Glades Road and demonstrate. I go, what are you demonstrating for? Dad, can I demonstrate? What are you demonstrating for? What are you against? What are you demonstrating against? She goes, I want to demonstrate for gun control. I go, what are you demonstrating against? What are you demonstrating against? School violence. What are you demonstrating against? I'm against school violence. What are you demonstrating? How are you going to fix that? Are you going to go against what? Go against the Second Amendment? Go against gun sales? What are you demonstrating against or for? Can you articulate what you're for? Are you for what? Gun control? What kind of gun control? Okay? Do you know the issues? No, she didn't know the issues, but she wanted to be in the friggin' line so she could miss school. That's what we have going on in Harvard, Brown, and all these fucking universities, all right, that are allowing people with our visas, okay, talking shit about our country, all right? Fine. That's called demonstration. You can do that. But when you start threatening people of another culture, of another religion, on shit you don't even know, you don't even know what the hell you're talking about, and you're talking about cutting throats, you're talking about executing, you're talking about that kind of shit? No, man. Fucking pull your visa and get the fuck out of here. No. Would you allow it in your house? Would you allow that shit in your house? Somebody to come in and talk shit about your family, about the way you fix food, about the way you clean your house, and about the way you raise your children. Would you allow that shit? No. The fuck out of here. Okay? This is Thanksgiving. We come here to give thanks and tolerate one another. You don't come in here to fucking shit on me. No. I let you come in as a guest and you're going to shit on me? Out. So, whew, felt good about that one. All right. Now, I got more to say, but we're going to call it for this podcast on that issue of courage and demonstrations and what's going on with the world. You know, I have my own beliefs, but I want to keep it down the middle. I want to keep it down the middle where we can have conversations, okay? If we can't start with the fact that unprovoked savagery against women, children, and old people is forbidden. Forbidden. If we can't start, I don't give a shit what's been done to you. If you've been oppressed, then let's go through the world stage. Let's have demonstrations, okay? Just spread it in social media. Put out how you're being oppressed, all right? And get some people out to the UN, get some people out to the political, and start your plight for change. But your plight for change cannot ever, ever involve the unprovoked massacre of women and children. Unprovoked. Unprovoked. Now, if you provoke it, and then you start hauling ass, and you start hiding under women's skirts, and those women start to die because you're there, that's unprovoked. So you cannot morally equate unprovoked savagery with collateral damage from a war. Collateral damage from war is horrible, horrible. I don't condone it. I condemn it, but it's part of war. Okay? Unprovoked savagery against the innocent is it's a game changer. It's a deal ender for me. At that point, there's no discussion. I'm going to annihilate you. And if you want to hide behind women and children, I'm going to do everything possible to save those women and children. But if those women and children, 15,000, 20,000, okay, have to go because you are putting them in danger, not me, because you are deciding to hide behind them. You are deciding to hide under their skirts. You are deciding to be there. And me chasing your savage ass down has collateral damage, then it's part of the collateral damage that has to be, unfortunately, accepted in order to get rid of your poisonous ass, all right? So this earth doesn't have to experience your shit anymore. Got it? That's where I'm at. And that goes across any religion, any race, any people. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Okay? Oppression and this and that, and you took my land and you the flag and I feel oppressed. That shit, no, that's not an excuse to kill women and decapitate babies. Sorry, not for me. Sorry. But anywho, let's get into the We Listen Q&A. One person said, hey, JC, what are your top favorite fighters, okay, in the UFC of all time and why? And when Rio was coming up, I was getting him autographed pictures from different athletes. Triple H was one of them. I have one dedicated to Rio. Do your homework. You know, I told Triple H, please write this for my son and tell him to do his homework, be good in school, listen to his parents. And Triple H wrote that shit. Another one that I told Rio, see, this is because Rio was getting into sports, and you know they act the way some players and some athletes act, and you know I'm not for some of that shit. I'm not for I'm not for shit talking and stuff like that. My guy to show Rio what a real sportsman and badass athlete was Randy Couture. And I would tell Rio, see this guy? Look at him. And, you know, I respect Tito Ortiz. I spent a lot of time with Tito Ortiz at some of the Nagas and shit like that. Tito Ortiz off camera is a different kind of cat than he is on camera. But I said, see that Tito Ortiz shit? See that shit? That ain't me. That shit talking, that ain't me. I'm a Randy Couture fan. Wouldn't have you seen that guy not act like a man, not act like a sportsman? And is he a badass? You bet your ass he's a badass. All right? When I trained Hermes Franca against Cal Uno, where Hermes Franca beat his ass, that was the day that Randy Couture beat Tito Ortiz and tapped him in the ass. It was Vegas. It was my first UFC, first time that I had a fighter in UFC back at Hermes Franca, Cal Uno, and I took my wife then and had a wonderful time. But anyways, Randy Couture, you know, my number one all-time favorite, real sportsman, gentleman. And not only that, he represented the older athlete, man. 42, he was 46, still whomping ass. He got his second title, I think, at 42. Unbelievable. Then, of course, Matt Hughes. Matt Hughes, I love the wrestlers that came. And Randy Couture was one of those wrestlers. They came from that Coleman, Kerr, Henderson, Matt Hughes, that era where all the American wrestlers figured out the jiu-jitsu cats. Because when jiu-jitsu came out, when UFC came out, it was jiu-jitsu. I mean, Hoist Gracie hit people with shit, and in Pride, they hit people with shit that they'd never seen before. Wrist locks, triangles, rear naked, guillotines, knee bars, ankle hooks, all kinds of shit. People were like, what is that, right? The first one to figure them out was the American wrestlers. And so Matt Hughes was the first time that we saw an American wrestler MMA fighter. Yeah, Matt Hughes was the real friggin' deal, man. And then we saw Matt Hughes on steroids in terms of athleticism, and we saw George St. Pierre. Both Matt Hughes always acted like a gentleman, always hardcore, great athlete. Same thing with George St. Pierre. He was never a trash talker. Great athlete. God damn it, he was a good athlete. Such a good athlete that he didn't even wrestle in high school or college. And Canada asked him to represent Canada in the Olympics wrestling. This is how good this guy is. And so George St. Pierre became the new athletic model, all right, of what an MMA fighter could look like. Okay? Remember, Matt Hughes was a wrestler turned MMA. So George St. Pierre was the first time that we saw a real athlete just dominate, and very strategic. Because when we trained Thiago Alves to go up against St. Pierre, I asked Thiago after St. Pierre beat him, I said, what's the hardest thing to deal with George? He goes, the adjustments that he makes. He goes, he sees you adjust, and he's already adjusting to shit you can't even see. So how fast he adjusts and the responses that he has to your adjustments. You know, so that's another guy there. Let me see. Robbie Lawler. Oh, I love that dude, man. Such a cool cat. Hardcore. You won't find a more down-to-earth, hardcore, in your face. The more you hurt me, the more I kick your ass than Robbie Lawler. I've met him a couple of times at Kill Cliff, or we used to be Hard Knocks, and I've seen him at Whole Foods. And he's always the most soft-spoken guy, not pretentious at all, sweet of a guy, but boy, that dude inside the cage was a phenom, a monster. And I just loved his energy, his combat, his fighter spirit, and work ethic. Robbie Lawler worked, and he always showed up in shape. And Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Oh, I love that dude. That dude is an all-American cowboy, the best that U.S. has to offer, you know. Ranch, bull riding, motorcycle riding, horseback riding, barn living. Let's go to the ranch and stomp some ass. Oh, 2 weeks before the fight, I'm snowboarding or water skiing, and Dana White's going like, don't do that, please. He goes, man, I got to stay busy. Because going back and forth from his ranch in his RV, doesn't even stay, half of the time didn't even stay in the hotel, stayed in his RV. Just that kind of guy. Never said no. Never said no. Yes, all the time. Yes, all the time. And was just a good-hearted guy. Funny, because the first time he said, we come up to 55, we're going to slap the Lucky Charms ass off of you to Connor. That shit was the best comeback he had. So, funny dude, So those are my guys. Randy Couture, George St. Pierre, Matt Hughes, Donald Cowboy, and Robbie Lawler. Many more come to mind. Don't think those are technique guys. They're just the personalities that I loved. And for many reasons, they're all Hall of Famers, But, I also like Khabib. The way Khabib talked, Conor had the roasting. Conor had the shit talking. But Khabib had an innocence to him that he didn't catch American culture. Then on top of that, he had the broken English that made him hilarious. Just super hilarious. Like shit like, send me location. Just you and me. You come. Brooklyn, New York, Manhattan, doesn't matter. Just send me location. Send me location. Who talks like that? And who fucking means it? It's not only talking like that, it's who means it. So this guy, we come along. This guy comes and kills Bus. Listen to that shit. He kills Bus. Who talks like that? You know who talks like that? My wife. She's Lithuanian. Oh, I love the woman. And her accent is every day I'm in a movie. I get to hear Khabib almost every day. Kind of in a way, I love her. But anyways, Khabib was funny innocently. Conor was funny because he was just that witty. Conor was just the best talking, and both were animals. Both are animals in the octagon. Animals, highly trained, highly skilled, showed up at the fucking time, So both of those guys are among my favorite. And save your chickens, the blessed one, Holloway. Man, I love that dude. Always easy, always a gentleman. Win or lose, never shit talking, always showed up. Absolute killer in the octagon. So don't think that those guys are not my favorite, because they are. So I just gave you just the top 5. But these guys are all in. And if you ask me tomorrow, the order will change, and I'll probably come up with guys that I forgot on these, on this thing here. Also, goals for yourself in 2024, because everybody sees the shit that I'm going through. This journey that I've been launched on by the ass-kicking sepsis that I had in September. So you go from almost dying in the hospital that you didn't even know you were dying, but you got really close, which is weird, because if I was close to dying, death doesn't feel like what you think it's gonna feel. It's because you think you're close to dying. You think of dying. You think, oh my man, I'm here. I'm at the doorsteps. Do I have a day or do I have a week? When I think of dying, that's what I thought of. That's what I think of. You're dying. I was dying. I didn't know I was dying. The infectious disease doctor said you were about 40. If you went untreated, you were about 48 hours from kicking it, or at least going into some kind of shock or coma or some shit. Dying. I never felt. I didn't feel bad. I had this. We've all had fevers before. We've all had temperatures before. So fuck it. It's a temperature. It's, nothing. I don't feel good. Yeah. It's not like I was curled over like a kidney stone. I did that. They did lithotripsy. Lithotripsy, they put in a stent. The stent is what caused probably or expedited the kidney infection. The kidney infection blew up and hit my whole system. So everything was off. Okay? So that kicked me into another gear. Kicked me into, dude, you're 64. You may have another 30 years left. How do you want to live this shit? It's the same question that when Rio was born and I had a bar, and I went, here I have a son. What do I want for him? Do I want him to be the youngest bartender? What's gonna make me proud? Hey Rio, at 5 years old, come on, look at this. Hey Rio, make him a screwdriver. And for Rio to make a screwdriver behind the bar, was that the destination that I wanted for my son? No. So it was the same things. Like, is that my destination? I went from 3 meds to 7 meds. One med, okay, just one med in your 40s and 50s. Second med, and they tell you you're getting older. When you get older, you need more medicine. All right, they sell you on that shit. And then from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to stronger meds, and I'm going, no, wait a minute. At the same time, I saw what Dana White went through. Okay, so I got to tell you that was like, okay, Dana's as an executive. I know he has a worse schedule than I do. He's just 24/7. If he can do this shit, and he had a lot of the things that many men do, you know, the snoring and the glucose and the cholesterol and the blood pressure and all this shit. If he can change with his schedule, with his lifestyle, then there's something there. So I looked into Gary Brecka. I even called Gary Brecka. And for one reason or another, they didn't call me back, or they didn't call me back the right time, boom, boom, boom. Bottom line is that I got on that journey. Not necessarily, and Gary Brecka will tell you, you don't have to do it with me. Just get this blood work. Look at this. And if this is happening, look into this. So that's awesome. I love all the information. Gary Brecka, Dr. Atia, Huberman, all those guys have wisdom. Pick this one, pick what's right for you, and make the little changes. So I hired a functional medicine group to look at my meds, and we got rid of 3 right off the bat. Right off the bat, 3 of them. I fired 2 doctors that were sleeping on the job, and I did 3 workouts, and it's by 1 o'clock I had done 3 workouts in the morning. My wife wakes up and he goes, "What are you doing? You're now waking up at 7:30, 7:20, 7 o'clock, Saturday, Sunday, every day." I'm going, I don't feel like sleeping anymore. I go to sleep at 11, 12. I sleep 7 hours. I wake up 3 times to go pee, and I'm done. I'm ready to go. 3 workouts. Okay? I'm dying to get my blood work back. It's not going to be the finished product, but I'm going to tell you it's going to look better, because there's no way I can feel this good and not be better. I am better. I'm feeling better. So my goal for 2024 is to be the healthiest version of me that's ever been. And that includes 17 years of age, 18 years of age, 20 years of age when I was vegetarian for 2 years and all that shit. I want to be off medications, if at all possible. I'm not buying, you're getting older, so a disease state is natural for you. No, you're getting older, fine. Things slow down, fine. Supplement those things that are slowing down. Supplement those things that are slowing down. Medication is because you're not doing the right thing. A medication is something you're not doing. It's something you need most probably because you're not doing the right thing. Now, there are times where genetically you're there. You're doing everything right and you need medication. Fantastic. I'm glad we have them and I'll use them. But not unless I'm doing all the right things and I'm not getting results. The question is courage. Can you sit down at the edge of your bed and say, am I doing everything that I can to be the healthiest that I can be? And the answer is fucking no. You know that. The answer is no. For example, right now, I'm doing everything better, but what am I doing that I need to stop doing? Eating at night. Eating large portions after 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I need to stop doing that. I eat, like my last bolus is between 12 and 1. And then, but I'm hungry. I don't know. So I'll figure it out. Okay? I'm getting curious as to the cold plunging. Maybe there's something there that I don't know about. I have to investigate it. I'm not quite there yet, but I may be there. Because when I figure out the nighttime eating, I get my weight down. My sugar's this, high blood pressure's going down. I've cut my medications in half. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm going, okay, what can I do? What am I not doing that I can do that I'm willing to do? Maybe cold plunging is it. And maybe I start with cold showers. That's a way to start, you know? So maybe I'll have the courage to jump in the... I've done it before. So it's not the courage. It's just I don't like it. But you know what? Sometimes I don't like going out and walking. I don't like not eating pizza. I prefer to eat it. And I don't. So what you feel like doing and what you need to do are 2 different things sometimes. Do what is necessary, not what's expeditious, not what's easy. Do what is necessary. And you don't have to do it all at one time. Do it little by little. I do it on my own terms, on my own time, and it's working out fantastic. I ask you guys to do the same. I'm having this conversation with my wife. Start walking. Start walking. Start walking. My wife is a beautiful woman. God, gorgeous, gorgeous, beautiful. But she told me, I want to get my body looking better, looking better in a bathing suit. And I go, well, baby, normally what sculpts the body is the muscle. The fat is reduced around the muscle, and the muscle is what gives the body shape. You've lost 30 pounds without lifting. So guess what? You've lost muscle. So you don't have the contours you want. Start walking, and every 5 minutes, give me 20 squats, 20 lunges. Just do that for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, 5-6 days a week. And that'll start, okay? When you start with these little techniques, okay, on your way to being the healthiest you can be for this year, there's this thing called synergy, okay? And when two things are synergistic, a lot of times 1 + 1 = 3. Got it? So when you do exercise and then you watch your sugars, just your nasty sugars, not all your sugars, just your nasty sugars, that has a really, really, really very, very strong impact. And both of those two are together as a unit, then separately. And then you have another one, and then another one, and then and supplementation is the same thing. When you supplement one thing and then you supplement another, a lot of times these two things work together on these things, and it has an amplification effect. So when you're doing habits, when you're doing good things for your body, whether it's supplementation, exercise, walking, everything, okay? And let's say that you just walk 15, 20 minutes after your meal at night, all right? And that drops 20 points on your glycemic index, okay, from what you ate, all right? Well, what does that do to your insulin? What does that do to your glucose? What does that do to your glucagon? What does it do to your leptin? What does it do to your ghrelin? And when all that shit, then what does it do to your thyroid? And before you know it, one little thing that you started, bah, 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 bah. And once you control your insulin and glucose, maybe you're not as hungry. When you're not as hungry, now you take better care of what you eat because you're not, the little, what do they call it? When you want something, your cravings. I don't crave sweetness now. And anybody, it's not me. Anybody will tell you, when you clean up your palate and you go on a 2-3 week of eating clean, all of a sudden you don't crave the donut, you don't crave the ice cream, you don't crave the chocolate, Unless you're my wife, of course. She'll tell you that you still crave it. But you get my drift, all right? So that's my goal for 2024, to be the healthiest version that JC has ever seen. And I hope you guys make a goal like that, because it would be a great goal for all of us to have. All right? Until the next podcast, I'm signing out, but, okay, I'm sending you to Rio. Okay, I'm out, but Rio's in. All right? Take care of my boy.
I told you guys he was going to be on one. He sprayed it out today, okay? I'm going to try to tame him down. No, we're just going to let him roll and let JC speak about whatever the hell he wants to. All right, guys. This week, we got UFC Fight Night. B. Allen versus Paul Craig. And we got Michael Morales versus Jake Matthews. All those guys are dogs. I'm going to go Morales by, I'm going to say submission, okay? And I'm going to go B. Allen versus Paul Craig. I'm going to go B. Allen. And I'm going to say decision. I think it goes the distance. It's going to be a fun fight. Wouldn't be surprised if either of them finish each other, but those are going to be my predictions. Hopefully this week I'm a little bit better. Sorry for last week, guys. Those are going to be my two. We will see you guys next week. And by the way, his list, gotta love it. Hall of Famers. Mine, I'm probably going to go Cerrone. I'm going to go Max Holloway. I'm going to go Connor. Robbie's in there too. Robbie, I grew up watching Robbie. And that freaking lift that he had against Rory, it's probably the greatest fight I've ever seen. The Diaz brothers are nasty as well too. You gotta love them. I'm trying to think of the big boys. Who the hell did I like at heavyweight? Rampage Jackson. You gotta love him too. So some OGs, some new cats. I don't want to take too much of your time. Let's go Steelers. Let's go Panthers. And let's see some UFC again this weekend. You guys have a good week. We love you guys.